Hey everyone, welcome. And are you ready for a video about a simple little concept that has a really interesting history? Yeah, it's the __init__.py file. And again, a very, very interesting story behind this file. Let's take a look at it. First of all, one of the interesting things that you're probably going to run into before too long is you're going to see a package like Pizza Shop, and inside it, you're going to see this init .py. So again, __init__.py. And you're going to look inside this file. Let's fire up our idle here and let's open that file. So you're going to see this package. You're going to think, okay, something's got to be, really important going on here. This init Python file. So you open it and there's nothing in it. Okay. So if this hasn't happened to you already, it's going to happen to you. What is the deal? Why is there this empty init file in notice the root, the very first place it could be inside our Pizza Shop package? Well, the reason you'll see this a lot is there is no initialization code that the package author had. And that's what init files are for, to run initialization code. So, okay, if you don't have initialization code, why put the empty file in there? Well, it used to be in Python that for a package to be considered a package, it had to have the initpy. This is no longer the case in any kind of modern version of Python we would be using today. So it's kind of a carryover. You'll see oftentimes there will be this empty initpy in the root of the entire package. Something else that changed was that, it doesn't have to be in the root, but you need at least one somewhere. So then you start to see them in your subfolders. Now, even though we don't have to have these things anymore, they're still very beneficial and useful anytime you have initialization code that you want to run when you're going into these areas. Let's take a look at this. Let's see it in action. In fact, let's go back over to idle and let me do a file open, and we are just going to go and grab inside the Pizza Shop. Let me show you the init file that's inside our ordering folder. So we're going to open that init, and look at this. You can see there's some importing done. Oh, great. So the importing will have already been done. And then look at, and by the way, notice there's this dot syntax here on these folder locations. This is to tell us that, or on these module locations, this is to tell us that look anywhere. Don't look just in the very directory you're in now. Look anywhere in the directory structure of the package. So that's what's going on with that dot syntax. Notice also there's this optional thing they do here with an __all__. This dictates that if an import is done with the import asterisk, what actual functions will be part of that import. So just some common things you might see in the initialization. And notice I did something just to prove that this initialization actually executed. I've got our little print statement in here. So this is the initpy that is inside the ordering submodule. So now what we're going to do is let's open a file that I created that's just going to do something. I forget what I had it do. Let's go to my app and take a look at it. Oh yeah, it just says, all right, we're importing from the ordering location. That should be enough to trigger the initialization of the file, the init file that lives in that ordering location. So we'll go ahead and do a run. And look at that. So sure enough, when we ran that app, it reached down with the import into that package location of the ordering location, and it ran the contents of the init file. So we don't have to have these files anymore, but as we've seen in this video, they're still going to be totally valid structures that we can use that do a very cool thing for us. They can initialize some code. It runs automatically when we dip into that location of our package. Well, thanks so much for watching this video. We're getting close now. We're getting very close to the end of our discussion of these modules and these packages and creating our own and working with them. And then, as you know, we'll be going through some famous modules and the functions they contain in Python. A little bit easier of material, I would say, by far, than what we've been contending with so far. All right, see you in the next video, everyone.